The Galactic Council had witnessed many species fall before the Vorthax champion. The massive creature stood 12 feet tall, its obsidian carapace gleaming under the arena's harsh lights. Razor-sharp claws extended from 6 muscular arms, each capable of rending steel. Its maw split open to reveal 3 rows of crystalline teeth that could crush diamond. Purple ichor dripped from its mandibles as it let out a bone-chilling roar that had broken the spirit of countless warriors. Before battle even began, Ambassador Zethkri of the Altarian Federation leaned forward in his observation pod, his tentacles writhing with anticipation. "Surely now the humans will surrender," he whispered to his aide. "No species has ever faced the Devourer and lived." The human delegation sat calmly in their section, seemingly unbothered by the terrifying display below. Their champion, a small female named Sarah Chen, stood barely 5.5 feet tall. She wore simple combat gear and carried no visible weapons. The aliens had been baffled by the humans' choice. Every other species sent their largest, most battle-hardened warriors. The humans sent what appeared to be an average citizen. "Participants, enter the arena," announced the mechanical voice of the council's adjudicator. The Devourer stalked into the center of the arena, its 6 eyes scanning for threats. Each step shook the ground, leaving deep gouges in the reinforced floor. The crowd of various alien species fell silent, many covering their sensory organs, to avoid witnessing what they assumed would be a massacre. Sarah walked in from the opposite entrance, her hands empty and relaxed at her sides. As she approached the towering beast, something unexpected happened. Her face lit up with genuine delight. "Oh my God," she said, her voice carrying clearly through the arena's audio system. "You're absolutely adorable." The Devourer paused mid-stride, confusion rippling through its form. In 10,000 years of combat, no prey had ever reacted this way. "Look at those eyes," Sarah continued, moving closer without any apparent fear. "And those little twitchy antenna things on your head. Are those for sensing vibrations? That's so cool." Ambassador Zethkri's tentacles went rigid with shock. What is the human doing? Has she lost her mind? Sarah circled the massive creature, which remained frozen in bewilderment. "Your carapace has such beautiful patterns. Is that natural coloring or does it change based on your mood? Some earth beetles do that, though obviously not at your scale." The Devourer's head swiveled to track her movement, its roar diminishing to a confused rumble. It had been bred for battle, trained to respond to fear, aggression, or desperate courage. This strange, calm fascination was entirely outside its programming. "I'm a xenobiologist," Sarah explained, as if having a casual conversation. "I study alien life forms. We've never encountered anything quite like you before. Your locomotion system is fascinating. 6 limbs for manipulation plus those powerful legs. Very efficient design." She stopped directly in front of the creature, looking up at its towering form with the same expression one might reserve for a particularly interesting puppy. "May I?" she asked, reaching out slowly toward one of its lower arms. The Devourer, utterly confused by this unprecedented situation, didn't resist as Sarah gently touched its carapace. "Incredible," she murmured. "The texture is like a cross between ceramic and keratin, and you're warm, so you're not purely cold-blooded. Endothermic regulation with an exoskeleton, that's remarkable evolutionary engineering." The crowd watched, in stunned silence as Sarah continued her impromptu examination. The feared champion of the Vorthax stood motionless, occasionally tilting its massive head as she pointed out various anatomical features with scientific enthusiasm. "Your people must be incredibly advanced to have developed such a perfect synthesis of biological systems," Sarah said admiringly. "I'd love to know more about your homeworld's ecosystem. What environmental pressures led to this magnificent adaptation?" For the first time in its existence, the Devourer found itself being appreciated, rather than feared. Something strange happened in its alien consciousness, a feeling it had no name for. Humans called it being valued for something other than one's capacity for destruction. The creature slowly lowered itself closer to Sarah's height, emitting a sound that was almost curious. Are you trying to communicate? Sarah asked excitedly. We humans love meeting new intelligence. We have so much to learn from each other. Ambassador Zethkri watched his carefully laid plans crumble. The ritual combat was supposed to demonstrate human weakness, to justify the Council's rejection of Earth's membership application. Instead, he was witnessing something unprecedented. A human turning the galaxy's most feared weapon of war into a willing participant in scientific discourse. The combat parameters have been altered, the adjudicator announced uncertainly. Sarah looked up at the observation decks. Combat? Oh, you meant this as a fight? But why would I hurt such a magnificent creature? This being represents millions of years of evolutionary development. It's a living miracle of biological engineering. Destroying it would be like burning a priceless work of art. The devourer made a sound that almost resembled agreement. Besides, Sarah continued, scratching what appeared to be an itchy spot behind one of the creature's sensory organs. Humans have learned that the strongest bonds aren't forged through dominance, but through understanding and mutual respect. The massive creature, the terror of 1,000 worlds, leaned into her touch like a cat seeking affection. Ambassador Zethkri slumped in his pod. He had expected the humans to either flee in terror or die gloriously in battle. He had not anticipated them turning his ultimate weapon into a friend through nothing more than genuine interest and kindness. Council session concluded, he announced weakly. The humans pass. As Sarah left the arena with her new 12-foot-tall friend trailing behind her like an enormous, deadly puppy, the galaxy began to understand why humans might be the most dangerous species they'd ever encountered, not because they were the strongest or most aggressive, but because they had the terrifying ability to make friends with absolutely anything, even the monsters.